So Catherine and I have a very special relationship, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here tonight helping the ACLU honor her. At a time when women are struggling to feel like their voice is heard, and as most of us sit here deflated after stepping out of an incredibly heartbreaking, emotion-fueled week, I feel it is not only appropriate, but a privilege to highlight one of the most powerful women in my life. A woman who made me believe from the time I was a child that there was nothing I couldn't do. A woman who made it okay to reinvent herself through art, time and time again. A woman who will tell you herself that she refuses to take no for an answer, and I think you saw that on that screen. It goes without saying that in more ways than one, Catherine is leading the way. Not only did she prove that a woman could achieve record-breaking success with the opening of Twilight, paving the way for female directors everywhere, she's also worked behind the scenes to increase opportunities for women in Hollywood and around the world through her philanthropic work. Whether she's directing box office hits, writing roles for women that redefine how we see ourselves, or building wells for the Thirst Project in Africa, Catherine is proving to us all that every door we think is locked might just need a little nudge. She's smiling because she knows that I like to nudge. Of course, my favorite role she's played is that of my mentor. My story with Catherine began when I was 5 years old. She came into my life as a sort of accidental hybrid between a sister and a mentor, and 23 years later, she still can't get rid of me. When I was 13, we co-wrote our first screenplay together, which then became the movie 13, and it set us on a dual path of friendship and filmmaking. And a few other things you may or may not know about Catherine. Prior to her career as a director, she had a very full career as a production designer and an architect before that. I forgot that. That's true. That was another lifetime. As well as lending her talents to the National Women's History Museum. She's also a women's advocate with the Equal Employment Opportunities Commission and the ACLU of Southern California in its historic campaign to end gender discrimination in hiring directors. But I won't. Yeah. Yeah. But I would like to talk about role models. Young women need them, and I am living proof that having a strong woman or women in your life that believe in you, that show you through example that the sky is the limit, only helps to ensure our path to success. It takes a village, and Catherine is undoubtedly a part of this village. Of my village. Catherine has it all, plus the wisdom and compassion to use her talent in service of the rights of all of us. She is my definition of a modern-day Renaissance woman, and I am pleased to present the 2016 Bill of Rights Award to my friend and mentor, Catherine Hardwicke.
That was pretty nice. Thank you so much, Nikki. Wow. So yeah, when Nikki was 13, like she said, we collaborated on 13. That's a movie that reflected the very issues that weren't being talked about in the lives of young women. Body image, hypersexualization, peer pressure, beauty culture. We tried to dive deep into the subject to make it personal so that the viewer could identify with the other, a young woman coming of age in our society. The movie got shown all around the world and discussed on Oprah and hundreds of news shows. Young women still tell me how they felt less alone after watching this film. They called it like cinema therapy. That was 13 years ago. Since then, the world has gotten even tougher and more confusing for young women in our digital age. Our president-elect even fat-shamed Miss Universe, and that's a pretty high standard for young women to live up to. 1 in 5 college women experience sexual assault. More than 90% of them never report it, but Donald Trump talks about grabbing women by the pussy Awesome. We have to keep fighting this. Last year, more men and women started reporting crimes of sexual assault, thanks in part to a song that Diane Warren and Lady Gaga wrote, Till It Happens to You, which you saw a little clip of it, and the on-campus assault documentary. Oh, yeah. That song was featured in the documentary on campus assault called The Hunting Ground that Kirby Dick and Amy Ziering, who's here tonight, produced. As you see, Nikki was in that again. We teamed up again to make the video, and we tried to show 3 very personal stories about sexual assault. We tried to make the male predators feel like real people too. Our friends that played the parts weren't too happy about playing those parts, but they wanted to help change hearts and souls. And that's what we as filmmakers try to do. How can we create real change? How can we help people understand that someone who does not look like them is not to be feared, but loved? There are so many things we can do to make the world more inclusive, and one of them is through storytelling. We have to look at who is telling our stories. As we've been hearing about, like in 2014, women only directed 7% of the top 250 films, yet we comprised over half the audiences. And the ACLU is pretty awesome. Melissa Goodman, where are you, Melissa? Where is she? She heads the LGBTQ Gender and Reproductive Justice Project. And last year, this affiliate in the ACLU Women's Rights Project asked federal and state civil rights agencies to investigate the systemic failure to hire women directors at all levels of the film and television industry. So they've been pushing on the EEOC. We are hoping, fingers crossed, that great progress comes out of that. We have to keep speaking out together about pay inequality and gender bias, either conscious or unconscious. Now is the time to tell more stories about women and diversity. We all need to support the ACLU of Southern California so they continue doing this important work. I'm very happy to accept this award as we move forward to bring real change in attitude, laws, and policies. I've experienced firsthand how inclusive representation in media can transform the lives of young women. We can inspire people with a vision for a better world. Let's do it. We need it now more than ever, you guys. Thank you.